AEW Fight Forever is in trouble. Before its launch, this game was highly anticipated for wrestling fans and is now being chucked into the bin. It's got people wondering if AEW should just reboot the game. Well, today we're gonna take a look at how AEW Fight Forever can press that reset button and have a chance for survival. Now, season 2 has dropped and it has angered just about everybody, from comment sections to Twitter, YouTubers, creators, everybody, the player base. Everyone is upset with this and nobody is interested in picking this up, not even with a 10-foot pole that's being held by Anna Jay. Overpriced, lackluster, disappointing. These are just some of the nice things players have to say about the recent content drop.
Is embarrassing.
So what can AEW Fight Forever do? Let's rewind for a second and look at season 2. Right now, they advertise players can purchase the Acclaimed in the Dynamite Arena in Pack 1. Pack 2 is the Beat the Elite mode, and Pack 3 is just titled A Storm is Coming, all for $25. In the eyes of many players, this is not only overpriced, but underwhelming, and I would even say kind of confusing if you're a casual player. As the hardcore players and core audience of the game in AEW, they know what they're getting with this, that the leaks have been out there for the DLC, for the Dynamite Arena, the Beat the Elite is the Towers mode that you're supposed to get, and the Storm is Coming being the final DLC is supposed to be Tony Storm. Outcast version of Tony Storm. But look at the casual player, the person that picked up the game around launch and sees this reveal with Beat the Elite mode and it wasn't explained. And a casual consumer or player may not even know what this is. And the third pack just says a storm is coming. Sure, they might assume it's Tony Storm, but it's not outright said and it's not clear. So why would a casual player even consider this purchase for $25? And well, they probably wouldn't. Because let's be honest, if the hardcore players are turning away and not engaging with this, it's very unlikely that the casual players are going to have anything to do with this. So that brings us to our reset with this season 2 alone. But also, what could be done in the future to save this game? For many players, more value is needed. For the first pack, where we have the Acclaimed in the Dynamite Arena, we need to add more wrestlers. Add 2 more to beef up the pack. Give players Saraya or Jamie Hayter included in the first pack, along with the Acclaimed, along with the Dynamite Arena. Now, I'll preface also by saying, I think arenas should just be included in all of this, but if AEW is in a position where like, we need to make revenue somehow to make this attractive, okay, we'll play ball within this whole universe they have built out. For the second pack, it needs to be clarified and marketed better. Casual players don't know what this is. You want your audience to come back. Run a trailer for this mode, explain what it is, but also we need to add more value into a second pack, because not knowing the full details of getting hands-on with this, we don't know how long it will take players to beat the Elite. And it might just take them one day and it's over. We need to add the Rampage Arena, the Collision Arena, and possibly even more pay-per-views such as Winter is Coming and Forbidden Door. That way we have a new mode being added in, plus you're including several more arenas to entice players to come back in and try out. Now you might be saying, Matt, you big old dummy, there's no chance that they would do that they would give players all of that stuff, all of that content. I understand, and I agree with you. But if we wanted to reboot and salvage this thing, they need to be giving players way more value for their dollar that they're spending on this. The current setup and the current model does not work, and if we have to kind of work within the confines of AEW games and what they can give to players realistically, we gotta work within all of that and make it better for players. And in the final DLC, we need to show players exactly what's being delivered. Tony Storm, add in Swerve, add in an arena, add in the international title, give players more value. Now we're talking about 5 to 6 wrestlers, multiple arenas to keep everything up to date and fresh and working, another title belt in there, you've added in the Towers mode, you've done a lot more for the same price. And also, from footage we've seen online too, in case you don't know, that Dynamite Arena that has launched, that Dynamite Arena does not have a working Titantron other than the lower one. Anything else is just a still graphic shot of AEW Dynamite. So we would need that updated and patched first to work for Collision, Rampage, and Dynamite, so that all the Trons are working. And not only that, to give this thing a good shot in the arm, to make sure that people would be interested maybe in getting it, you would need to lower the price of the individual DLC packs if they wanted to do it that way. So you got to lower it by a few dollars to be able to attract players to come back in and maybe buy the individual pieces of DLC. Because I would assume that all this DLC is already mapped out and planned, and the models are already done, I would want to be able to deliver dates to my audience. Remember, the AEW Fight Forever game has lost its trust with players. They're not trusting how this game is being rolled out and feeling like they're getting anything from it. So you have to rebuild that trust with your fan base, with the consumer. To do that, you need to put out actual dates for the release of these things. Now that takes care of Season 2 DLC, but that does nothing to salvage the core game experience that already has its problems since the first day. The damage has been done. With subpar launch of the game, they can regain the trust of fans if they reset and reload it a bit with the Season 2 content. Come out of the gate with the DLC that we have just outlined here, but with every DLC drop, we need to be seeing huge patches to go alongside each DLC drop over the next 3 months. We're talking free updates, patches to the game for the players in the way of match options and match types and overhauling the experience for players. With the launch of the Acclaimed, focus on tag teams. For the first patch update that we would get for gameplay, we would launch the tag team ladder match, tornado tag team option, handicap being a 2-on-1 match option, and menu options. Launch it today. The toggle options in the menu, such as First Blood match, Iron Man match options, KO only, submission only, and finisher only, put those in alongside your first batch of DLC, so paid customers are going to be able to see the value there of getting new arenas, new tag teams, new wrestlers, but also for everybody that already has the game, they could maybe feel more enticed to buy the DLC because now they're seeing more match options that the game has been sorely lacking. From the match types to the match options themselves. These are core fundamental game features we've seen back in the early 90s of wrestling games. Now that takes care of the holiday season, and everything for the gaming industry shuts down around the holidays, so we start back up in January. And in January, we come out of the gate strong with the addition of the cage matches as a free update. This would give us, with DLC number 2, a free update to give you the different cage match options and variations of 1v1, tag, 3-way, and 4-way cage match. And for the final patch that would release for Season 2 around March window, we should be wrapping up with an already expanded creation suite and updates for the online structure, cause, giving you more hairstyles, giving you more attires, more pieces to work with for Create an Arena, as well as for your Create a Wrestler. Now that gets the game in a pretty stable place. It's not perfect, but it would drive players to keep coming back to see what's been added. But to truly reset and reboot the game after the wrap up of these core fixes and update the match types for free, before Season 3 rolls out and we announce it in April, you would need to hear as a player of what's to come for the rest of the year. This is where we see the inclusion of a new free mode, similar to a GM mode, to a universe mode, or just a AEW season mode. We can't expect too much here from them. We can't expect them to come out of the gate with something that's going to surpass that of a universe mode. And not that universe mode is perfect, but they've had years to work on and develop it. So we've got to work within the simplified system and basics of what they could offer us. But with this type of season mode, you would get a 12-month calendar setup. Players can create Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage now that they have released all of the additional arenas to you. You'd be able to use these in your season mode. On top of it, being able to create original arenas to do on your show. And this goes alongside with create a pay-per-view that will be included on a monthly basis in your calendar. Very similar to what you have with the universe mode experience. And is it similar to that? Absolutely, but being realistic here, it's something very basic, I think, that the game could offer players. This gives players the chance to build a match card for each week, set a basic rival system, simulate or play each match, max it out to like 6 matches per card, and create the pay-per-views on a monthly basis. And then you just tie in the AEW shop rewards with the season mode to drive users to come back all the time to go through and play and improve and change and just have fun with their season mode. What you want to do is incentivize players to do that by giving them more unlockable items within the AEW shop, earning the cash by doing certain achievements and goals in the season mode. For example, you end up having more cash given out to you, more rewards for t-shirts, for attires, those types of unlockables in the form of you beat a challenge of defending the world title 5 times with the same wrestler, or you went through and one wrestler has won all of the championships in the calendar year. AEW loves the star rating system from Meltzer. Incorporate a star system, a star rating system within the season mode. For setting up basic matches, ones that have rivals set up with them, that they get a star rating populated to them based on the match you put together. And every month you try to get a better star rating for your overall card, whether it's going to be for the pay-per-views or just for the weekly TV shows. And like we've seen in general manager mode in the past for WWE games, let us toggle the options to turn people face and heel, a basic system for selecting the type of feud we want. This would be a huge step to move the game into a 2.0 era. And once this new mode is announced, then you share what players can look forward to in Season 3. More wrestlers, more arenas to buy, more choice, and a lower price if players want to buy anything individually. Does this fix AEW Fight Forever? Not at all. But it would tell the most important people, the fans, the players, that they are listening and working towards gaining people's trust back. Because that's one of the biggest issues here for this game right now. And it's certainly easier to update and do these types of improvements than starting from scratch. But let me know how you would reboot AEW Fight Forever. And if you need to know about Season 2, don't go anywhere. Click this video because it's the full breakdown, everything that is in there, and overall thoughts of it too. See ya.